Well, it's a Sunday afternoon, and I am in the process of making some scalloped potatoes. I just thought I'd go ahead and take the opportunity to do a live session. And what are we going to talk about today? Well, I'm not quite sure. It's my first live session. Well, that's not true. It's my first long live session. I did a very brief one. So you guys might have to help and make some suggestions along the way. And this channel, as you know, is for self-sufficiency and preparedness. And I can't think of a better time to have a discussion about this subject, because we are going into crazy times. We have been over the last 6 months. Really can't tell you, well, I feel like it's been actually since 2020. And yeah, I don't know. There are just like so many things. There's just not one thing anymore. Used to be it was just some weird virus. Now we have wars, we have assassinations, we have aliens, we have failing governments, we've got failing climate, or well, you know, I'm not into the climate. There's definitely something happening with the climate. It's not warming. Let me tell you, it's not warming. Here on the prairies, we are at 52 degrees today. We haven't had snow, as other provinces in Canada have had some snow. We haven't had that, but it's been very cold. We did buy bedding plants last week, and we aren't able to get them in the ground yet. And ow. Yes, and so we are just waiting for the weather to get to a stable place. It's usually at the end of May, which is pretty pathetic. We have a very short growing season in the prairies, so we have to basically wait until the last frost, and quite often it is at the end of May. And I know for my American friends that must seem incredibly insane. I know a lot of you would already have your gardens in, and things are growing. Unfortunately, that's just not the way it is here. We have a quasi-Arctic climate. That's not true. I mean, in the summers, it can get over 100 degrees, and that is quite warm, as you know. But it doesn't last very long. And so our growing season is usually just June and July and a little bit of August. And so we have to be very careful about what we decide to plant up here north of the states. And it's probably the same truth for like Minnesota, Montana, Idaho, northern parts of Idaho. The prairies, I guess, the northern prairies of the United States, probably all the same there, because we're not close enough to the coast to get coastal warmth, and certainly it's harsh. It's harsh here. So if there's anybody from those northern climes in the U.S., hey, I see somebody. You're gonna have to excuse me. I got to get my glasses on. And oh, hi, Dawn. And I think that's Dawn King. Yes, hi, Dawn. So if you do live in the northern U.S., let me know what the weather's doing for you, and what your thoughts are as far as is this our normal weather? I can tell you quite frankly that this isn't anything unusual for where we're from. We quite often do have even a snow in May, but it is just a very, like I said, it's a big challenge, you know, deciding what plants to get in the ground. So for us, potatoes are a win. We get a lot of fast-growing potatoes, sometimes corn as well, if you can get them in early enough. But potatoes are really good just for sustainability. I've still got potatoes downstairs, although they're starting to look like seed potatoes. They're still edible. It's very rewarding. We don't have a large amount of land or anything like that, so it's just rewarding to be able to grow our own. We have still have got some carrots from last season as well. You might want to know how exactly I've managed to keep them so long, and I'm going to tell you. I store them in sand. Yes, that is right. So I've just taken very small containers and layered sand, and then I can store carrots, I can store beets in the layers, making sure that they don't touch each other or the sides of the container. Layer more sand. Make sure that sand is slightly damp, not wet, slightly damp. And the reason for this is just to keep a moist environment where they're not going to dry out, where they can draw a little bit of that moisture. And actually through the winter, they've started growing tops. Not ones that you'd want to like use in cooking or anything like that. They're very small, but they're still, that shows sign of growth. So that's something new for us this year, is just learning that storage method works for your carrots and your beets. There may be other vegetables that it works for as well. I am just not sure. I'm not sure which ones. I grow beets and carrots. So again, it's a cold weather vegetable, so it works really well. Hi, Colin. Let's see, where was I? I'm still trying to make these scallop potatoes. I don't know if anybody of you are aware, I am actually a U.S. native, and my family came from the Appalachians, really, West Virginia and Ohio area. And so frugal living was basically bred into me. We did not throw anything of use away in our previous generations. My mom was very frugal, and I've carried on that trait. I don't care. I will save my bags. I will save and reuse food, like for leftovers and things like that. And in today's economic climate, who wouldn't, right? I was just astounded. We went grocery shopping, and we do live in a small town, and so the price of our groceries tends to be higher because they're bringing it in. But I was just amazed at that my expenses, and I can afford it. But I was, immediately was thinking of other family members who aren't able to, or who don't have as much money. And it's like, so you've gone from being able to feed yourselves well to maybe scrimping and saving and eating junk and hi, Ada Core. I think that's how I should say that. How are you? So where was I? Oh yes, grocery shopping and the mess that is. Now, I don't know if any of you have experienced any shortages yet. Let me know. I'm hearing that we should be expecting them with the Strait of Hormuz being as well, not travel worthy right now. And but I haven't noticed any shortages. I just noticed that things that actually depend on gas to move it from here to there, anything is now an increase in price. So it pretty much is every grocery item, which is a shame. Well, let's see. I was going back to, yes, growing up in parts. Well, I grew up everywhere actually, but I'll go back to my roots, which is Ohio, West Virginia area. And yeah, you just learn to be very frugal and you learn to save. Thank you very much, Farmer Mac. Yeah, you learn to save as much as you can and to reuse and repurpose. In fact, even though I'm sure that it drives my hubs a little crazy, I'll save everything because I know I can use this later. I can use it for my dehydrated foods and or well, basically it is for dehydration, or I could use it for my canned vegetables, or not vegetables, sorry, my jams. Oh man, I am kind of getting a little mixed up. Anyway, yeah, the point is, yeah, I just kind of do. And it's not even like I don't actually have to. That's the whole thing. I don't have to. And I just look at waste as something that's deplorable. I hate to use that word because we know that somebody else has used that. But yeah, I don't like to waste water. It drives my kids nuts. It's like, how long do you need to leave that water running to wash your hands? Like, come on. But yeah, it's certainly being someone who really wants to be self-sufficient and live frugally. You're got your eyes open everywhere. You're watching how much you personally spend, but you're also watching the news. You're watching what's going on at the grocery stores. You're watching and listening to news from both sides of the track, I'll say, and also geopolitically. You need to stay informed. There's just so much going on. We are informed about global issues and global climate, the crazy things that certain people are trying to, pull into our world and our existence and the fabric of society that is a little different than what we grew up with. I can tell you, I can't even imagine, my grandchildren are going to, have such a different world than I did growing up. So anyway, back to my scalloped potatoes. My mom made the best scalloped potatoes. Pretty much everything Mom did was outside of a cookbook. It was all just family, generational recipes handed down. I think probably my favorite dinner that she would cook would be fried chicken with mashed potatoes and gravy and coleslaw and lima beans. It was tremendous. But she did make the best ham and scalloped potatoes. And so she'd also put onions in there as well. I have made this dish, I can't tell you how many times. Every time it's different because I don't actually go for it by a recipe. I try to just go, is this how Mom made it? And sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's not quite a hit. It's either too wet or too dry. And so anyway, I am doing it a little different today. I'm using milk with some flour, and then I've got some cheddar cheese condensed soup from Campbell's, so whatever. So I am going to use that as my liquid in there, and also I'll put in some butter, salt and pepper, and my ham. Now, again, being frugal, I got my ham. I actually bought 2 of them because they were on sale. And for 2 people, I don't know if you can see this. Well, first of all, take note, reusable not sandwich bags, but bread bags, yes. Save them too. But yeah, these were huge hams, but for 2 people, extreme a lot. The only thing with ham I find is that if I put the ham in the freezer, it doesn't quite taste as nice. The moisture is gone. And apparently that's because there's such a high water content in ham. It's better if you don't freeze it. So I have waited until the very last minute here with this last chunk of ham. And I will probably end up still putting it into the freezer just because I need to I need to keep it. I'm not going to let it go, right? And I'll probably just use that. So it'll be the meat around the bone for some soup beans. And that'll wait for a few months, or a few weeks anyway, maybe not months, but I want to make sure that I'm not tired of ham when I go to eat ham again. All right, so let's go back. So we've talked about my roots. Please feel free to indicate where you're coming from. I love to see it when people are showing me where they're joining in from, and I just BBC joined. BBC? I don't know. Anyway, I don't have great vision, so you have to bear with me. This is on my phone, which is really small. Yeah, so I am not the big BBC. I'm just going to say BBC, I see ya. Hey. And if you've just joined, I'm making scalloped potatoes, and we're talking about self-sufficiency here. So I guess I'll leave these on for a bit in case anybody wants to reach out and say something. So what I'm going to do now, I've got a bit of liquid in the bottom of my pan, and I've put one layer of potatoes in there. I will put some butter as well, but right now I'm just going to slice my ham into very thin slices, and then I'll put that over top of the potatoes. So just get my cutting board here. Now, sorry. So kind of going back to self-sufficiency and why it's so very important. If you are watching the news, and if you are aware of the global catastrophes that go on pretty regularly here, then you'll have come to the same conclusion that we came to, which is it's far better to have an understanding of how to support yourself with your food. And as long as you can do that, then you can augment your grocery bill, which is, I feel it's going to increase even further than what it is, unfortunately. And I do post breakfasts, fairly often, showing, what we're having for breakfast. And those eggs are from our hens in the backyard. And a lot of the times the meat is a leftover, and I'm using it up for breakfast. And like today, we had some leftover steak, so that got pulled into breakfast. Again, I hate waste of any sort. And if I can catch it and I see something is going to go bad before I know I have a chance to use it, what I end up doing is dehydrating it. So I'll cut it very thin, and the meats that dehydrate best are chicken, for example, or a lean beef. Ham, not so much, because it's got a lot of moisture in it. But if I can get them into the dehydrator, at the very least, I can use that for dog food in an emergency situation. And it gets stored in one of those little glass jars I showed you not too long ago. So it's not the same world, man. We were lucky because we got to experience this great way of life that we seem to be losing by the day. So I'm not trying to freak anybody out. You have to adapt, because adaptability is what makes us strong. And if we want to go back to when our forefathers came to North American continent, or wherever your forefathers came from, they adapted. They had to adapt or they'd die. It's just as simple as that. Same for us. We have to adapt. So, adapting means sometimes a change in the way you live. And it certainly has affected a lot of our decisions, financial decisions, our location decisions, decisions on what we buy and how we're spending our money. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with where we're going with, and I do think that really my channel is more of a public service channel because I'm certainly not making any money, and that's fine. I just think it's more important to have a community and to talk about these sustainable things, off-grid living, what we do to what are we as a community doing to make sure that we do survive. I know that I've looked at not medicines, but the benefits from things that grow as weeds, or quote unquote weeds. But when I started looking at that last year, I guess hey, I can't see your name, but I see your hey. Anyway, yeah, when I started looking at this last year, it was, I was just dumbfounded because it was like everything that I looked up actually had some kind of a medical principle behind it, something that it could be beneficial for. And yes, you have to know how to use it. You have to know how to, in what state you can use it in. But I was just amazed. And then it made sense. It's like almost everything that we are getting anyway in a pill format is generally based on something in nature. So yeah, so that's another point for us, is going back and figuring out the origins of some of the things that we need to have on a daily basis, and or even just whenever something crops up. And I think most of you, if you are familiar with the with this type of living, by now you're probably very well aware of the benefits of just the simple dandelion. And I mean, how could we have been fooled for so many years into thinking this thing is a weed when it has got so many medicinal properties? It's sedating, as far as if you're drinking it as a tea. The roots themselves have got medicinal properties, and you can also roast them as a form of coffee. It tastes very much or very similar to a coffee. All good things to know, just in case the bottom drops out, So let's see. What else have we got? Anyway, I guess just wanted to pop on and introduce myself and just basically say hi to all of you. I appreciate you all joining, and maybe next time I'll get a few more comments. And I don't know how to use this yet, so I think it did tell me if I scrolled a certain way, I could see comments. I just don't understand how to use it, and perhaps you guys could even fill me in on that, because I'm okay with learning. How am I? I'm doing pretty good. Dano? I'm so sorry. If that's right, give me a thumbs up, because again, I'm facing the sunlight and and I'm just not able to read these names very well. So let's see. Back to my ham and scalloped potatoes. So I'm just slicing down the ham, and gonna get that ready to go into its layer on top of the potatoes. But before I do that, I don't want to forget my butter, because you just need butter and scalloped potatoes. I don't know why. So, and this is just dollops of butter. This is nothing, no, it's not a cup of butter or anything. It's just kind of, you're just putting little bits of butter here and there. There we go. That's all I'm going to do. Let's see. Oh, yes. Now it is time to put my ham on there. Okay, so if you've had an opportunity to visit my YouTube channel, you'll see I've got quite a few videos up there about self-sufficiency, about emergency preparedness, which is actually very important to me. I don't want to be left in a situation where I am struggling to survive because I haven't done my homework and or I don't have the right things on hand. So, like I said, it's more of a public service. Made a bunch of videos. Talks about different things that you should consider to have on hand for emergency preparedness, from emergency power to like water. How do you have life straws, or do you have a system that can filter water for you? Do you know where you can get water in a situation where you don't have water? Do you know how to make water? And I don't mean pee. I mean make water, as in you can put a tarp up in your backyard if you've got a backyard. If not, if you've got like just a deck, I'm sure you could probably get a tarp together and have all that water, that condensation that will appear on that tarp overnight. Just have that going down into a jar, one that you've saved. And so that's just one way. Another idea that I'm experimenting with, and I haven't got any results yet because I haven't actually plugged it in, but I'll tell you, I bought a dehumidifier because if I've got portable power, I could use potentially a dehumidifier to pull water out of the air. And even though it may not be clean, if you have a water filtration system, you would be able to filter that water and drink. Remember, you need water more than you need food. So water will help you stay alive longer. And then obviously have your own bottled water, and whatever source of bottled water you manage to have, or well water, I guess, if you live on a acreage or whatnot. But the YouTube channel just explores a few of those ideas on what you need to do to everything from looking after your own mental health to, how do you educate your children in a prolonged grid down scenario, things that you could, be buying. Maybe a lot of you are homeschoolers anyway. I don't know. My kids are gone. But I still bought the books in case my grandkids get here. Or are stuck here, I guess. I just trying to remember other topics, from the things that are in your yard that you can be using for your own benefit, to animal husbandry, only with regards to chickens, because I live in town, so you can only have birds. But yeah, like I said, feel free to let me know where you are joining from, and I will see if I actually, yeah, not quite sure how to do this quite yet, but we'll find out. Anyway, well, I just wanted to just drop by. I've got to finish preparing my scalloped potatoes here and get them into the oven. It's going to be a very relaxing evening. My husband and I had a fun night last night. We're up far later than we normally are, singing karaoke and dancing, and I guess that's another thing about being self-sufficient, is make your own fun. I have a lot of musical instruments: piano, guitar, tambourine. You have to be prepared to entertain yourselves. Yeah, so we do, and we're our own best company, so it's all good for us. I hope it's the same for you guys. Oh, it looks like I've got some Canadians here. Awesome, awesome. I had just mentioned a while back that broadcasting from the prairies, and we were talking about our planting season, which is very short. I think maybe for my next live session, I'll do it on a planting day where we can review the various types of plants that we're gonna plant in the garden this year, and what we'll augment with things that might come from the farmers market, just so that we can let the ground remediate. We've had potatoes in there for a couple of years, so anyway. I will sign off now, guys. Anyway, take care. Be on the lookout for opportunities to learn and to become more self-sufficient. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Oops.